this video, I will show you how to query Neo4j from FANTASIA by using automatic speech recognition and cipher parameters. First of all, let's build upon how Neo4j works. In the previous video, we talked about how to query a database from FANTASIA using cipher queries. I will now show you how to use parameters in FANTASIA to make cipher queries both faster and more flexible. Let's start from the previous example, in which we wanted to get coactors of Tom Hanks from the database. If we wanted to change the name of the actor of which we want to extract coactors, we would have to modify this by putting, for example, Meg Ryan. If we run the query, then you see that we get the list of coactors of Meg Ryan. Now this implies that I should regenerate the entire string corresponding to the query each time I want to change the name of the starting actor. Moreover, this doesn't allow me to use the caching mechanism Neo4j has, because if I regenerate the string 2 times, Neo4j will see this as 2 different queries and will regenerate the same plan for the 2 queries. So how to use parameters to simplify this? First of all, let's define a parameter name, and we will put it equal to Meg Ryan. Okay, so now we have a parameter whose key is name and whose value is Meg Ryan. In the previous query, let's change the string corresponding to Meg Ryan to the string $name. This indicates to Neo4j that the property name should have the value registered in the name parameter. Let's run the query, and the result is the same. Now if I change this and I update the parameter to Tom Hanks and run again this query, the same query from before, then the list changes to match Tom Hanks. In this case, Neo4j didn't recompute the plan of the query, so it was faster in a sense, although you can really see the difference when queries become more complex and databases become larger. So now let's jump into Unreal and see how we can use parameters with FANTASIA. First of all, I will modify the query from before to match the use of parameters that we just presented, so $name. Then here, I will drag this out, promote it to a variable, let's name its parameters, and it's okay. I'll compile it, and I will add a name parameter using Tom Hanks as a value. Let's compile the blueprint and run the example, see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, I do get the list of coactors of Tom Hanks again, but this time I'm using a parameter. So if I want to change the name, then I just need to go here and have Meg Ryan. Recompile the blueprint, and this time I do get the list of coactors of Meg Ryan. This allows us for a much higher flexibility in Unreal other than accessing the speed that Neo4j can get from the caching mechanism. Specifically, this helps us control the query using an input that comes from automatic speech recognition. So let's move now to setting up Microsoft Azure to perform ASR. After you set up your account on Microsoft Azure, you have to create a speech service. Speech services are part of the cognitive services provided by Microsoft Azure. So from your home page, click on Create a Resource and look for Speech. under speech, find the speech service and create it. Now you can compile the form and you can choose the free plan for development purposes, which currently includes 5 hours per month of the speech-to-text service and 1 million characters per month for the text-to-speech service. After you create your speech service in Microsoft Azure, you should be able to access it from your home page in the dashboard. In here, under Keys and Endpoint, you get all the information you need to connect Unreal to Microsoft Azure through Fantasia. So first of all, I'll copy the key here, and I'll take a note that I'm using the West Europe location. So now back to Unreal. The first thing that we want to do is add an ASR component, Azure ASR. I'll put it West Europe as a region and US as a language, and I'll paste the key that I just got from the website. Next, I'll drag the Azure ASR component in here, and I'll choose Start ASR function. Now I want ASR to start as soon as the game begins, so I'll connect this here. ASR start streams data towards the Microsoft Azure services, and it stops streaming data from your microphone as soon as it hears a couple of seconds of silence. Then it will give you back the transcription. So the next thing is to create an incoming message event which contains the actual transcription, and just check if this works. Let's print the transcription. Compile the blueprint. Now I'll start the application. I will say Tom Hanks, and we should get the transcription as a debug message. Let's see. Tom Hanks. Here. It's okay. So of course, what we can do now is we can get rid of this, and we can create in the parameters variable a new parameter, name. The old one will get overwritten, so it's okay. That contains the transcription that we get from Azure as a value for the parameter. Now the only thing we have to do is get this down here, and again submit a query to Neo4j, knowing that this time in the parameters there will be the transcription that I get from Microsoft Azure as a parameter for my research. Let's check if this works. Tom Hanks. And here's the list of co-actors of Tom Hanks. But if now I say Meg Ryan, now I get the list of Meg Ryan co-actors. So this is how you can use Microsoft Azure ASR in combination with Neo4j access through Fantasia to query the database using parameters coming from automatic transcriptions. In the next video, I'll show you how to make this more flexible by using natural language understanding technology from Microsoft Azure instead of simple speech recognition.